In the dead of night, across the vast and silent oceans, digital ghosts are moving trillions of dollars while the world looks the other way entirely. Headlines scream about a shadow fleet and a $100 billion scam, yet the true scale of this underground empire remains hidden from the public eye. 600 ships, nameless and unmonitored, are navigating through the cracks of international law, manipulating the very energy prices that dictate your daily cost of living. Well, forget everything you thought you knew about global economics. Today, we dive deep into the abyss to verify the ghosts that haunt our global supply chains. While official reports show a stable market, a hidden $100 billion empire is operating right under our noses, evading every radar and every single regulation. Behind every ghost ship lies a complex web of data and deception. To find the truth, we must follow the signals that were never meant to exist. We are uncovering the mechanics of a massive oil laundering scheme that bypasses sanctions and pumps billions into the pockets of the world's most mysterious players. Prepare for a journey through the maritime underworld where data lies and numbers are forged. This is the reality of the global shadow fleet revealed now. The automatic identification system is supposed to be the eyes of the sea, yet our latest data shows a chilling pattern of silence across the world's oceans. Or, in strategic waters like the Gulf of Oman, hundreds of massive tankers are simply turning off their lights, vanishing from the digital grid for weeks at a time. This is not a technical failure, it is a calculated move. While the AIS says the ocean is empty, high-resolution satellite imagery tells a very different story. These vessels are carrying millions of barrels of crude oil, but to the international monitoring systems, they do not exist. They are nothing more than maritime ghosts. Our analysts have decoded the patterns behind these disappearances. By cross-referencing satellite pings and port logs, the scale of this deception becomes shockingly clear to us. The dark zones are growing. These are the corridors where the shadow fleet operates, moving illicit cargo away from the watchful eyes of global regulators and authorities. When a ship goes dark, it creates a vacuum in the global supply chain, thus allowing for the secret transfer of wealth that never enters the official records. This systematic stealth operation is the foundation of a $100 billion industry that thrives on the inability of traditional systems to track non-compliant actors. The data does not lie, but people do. By spoofing their locations, these ships can appear to be in one country while actually loading oil in another. Every hour a ship remains dark is another hour of profit for the shadow empire, hidden from the taxman and the scrutiny of the international community. Verification is our only weapon against this digital smoke and mirrors. We must look beyond the screens to see the physical reality of the global trade. To hide a ship, you must first hide its owner. The shadow fleet is built upon a labyrinth of shell companies scattered across the world's most secretive jurisdictions. From Panama to the Marshall Islands, these paper empires provide the legal camouflage needed to operate ships that should have been scrapped decades ago for safety. An aging tanker, 20 years old and rusted through, is suddenly purchased by a company that was registered only 48 hours prior in a remote island. These flags of convenience allow ships to bypass strict environmental and safety regulations, creating a fleet that is as dangerous as it is profitable to owners. Transactions are made in cold, hard cash, or through untraceable digital ledgers, ensuring that the true beneficiaries of the oil trade remain anonymous and completely protected. Without international insurance or valid safety inspections, these ships are ticking environmental time bombs, wandering the oceans with millions of gallons of toxic crude oil on board. The structure is designed to be confusing. If a ship spills its cargo, there is no one to hold accountable, as the owning company effectively disappears instantly. By the time investigators trace the paperwork, the ship has already been renamed and sold to another shell company, while continuing its ghost journey under a new identity. This is the verify stage of our investigation, peeling back the layers of corporate deception to find the singular network that controls this entire shadow armada. Billions of dollars flow through small, unregulated banks and buffer zones, washing the profits of illicit oil before they ever reach the mainstream global financial system. The logic is simple. If you can't see the owner, you can't stop the trade. This empire relies on the world's collective blind spot regarding maritime ownership. We are tracking the money, not just the ships. By following the insurance premiums and fuel payments, The Ghost Fleet's skeleton finally begins to emerge clearly. The ultimate price of this corporate shell game is paid by the ocean itself, as these unregulated vessels pose the greatest threat to our global marine ecosystems. Ship-to-ship transfer, or STS, this is the most critical tactic in the Shadow Fleet's playbook. In the middle of the night, the great oil swap begins. Crude oil from sanctioned nations is pumped directly into clean tankers, effectively laundering the product before it ever touches a port or a registered dock. By mixing 30% sanctioned oil with 70% legal oil, the entire cargo is rebranded, making it nearly impossible for chemical tests to prove its origin. Suddenly, the illicit oil is reborn as Malaysian or UAE crude. With forged documents in hand, the Shadow Fleet can now sell to the highest bidder. This shell game allows over $100 billion worth of oil to bypass international sanctions every year, funding regimes and networks that operate outside global law. They have learned to avoid the SWIFT banking system entirely, using barter trades, gold, or crypto assets to settle accounts far away from any central bank monitoring. When communication is done via encrypted satellite phones and private channels, ensuring that no record of the transfer ever reaches the maritime authorities or intelligence agencies. Advanced GPS spoofing makes it look like the ship is safely docked in a neutral port, while in reality, it is miles away in deep water. Even the most sophisticated chemical fingerprints can be masked. This is a high-stakes game of cat and mouse, where the mice are winning through pure innovation. The sac, or cicada shedding its skin strategy, is perfected here. The oil changes its identity faster than the regulators can track the tankers. By the time the oil reaches its final destination, it is indistinguishable from legal cargo, ready to be refined and sold to unsuspecting consumers at market price. The profits are astronomical. By buying sanctioned oil at a deep discount and selling it at market rates, the Shadow Fleet generates billions in pure profit. This is the coup trau buy. It's the ultimate $100 billion trick that keeps the Shadow Empire fueled and the global energy markets in a constant state. Why does the price of oil suddenly drop when supply should be tight? The answer lies in the hidden supply provided by the global Shadow Fleet. While you pay record prices at the pump, the Shadow Fleet is flooding the market with cheap, untracked oil, distorting the very fundamentals of supply and demand. Even OPEC Plus struggles to maintain control. When millions of barrels of ghost oil enter the market, it undermines every production cut and every official policy decision. This manipulation creates a shadow economy that siphons value away from legitimate producers and puts it into the hands of those who bypass the global system. The integrity of the global energy market is being eroded. What we see on the news is only the surface of a much deeper and darker reality. The risks are not just financial. These unmaintained bombs are a constant threat to our environment, with no insurance to cover the inevitable disaster of a spill. When a ghost ship fails, the cost is borne by nature and the local communities, while the shadow owners simply delete their shell companies and walk away. The Shadow Fleet is a ticking time bomb for global maritime safety. It ignores all the lessons we have learned from past environmental catastrophes and oil spills. Don't believe the hype on television. The real price of energy is being dictated in the dark by those who have mastered the art of transportation. Every barrel of ghost oil that enters the system is a blow to the transparency of our world. It empowers the shadow at the expense of everyone. Your money is being siphoned. The Shadow Fleet's profit margins come directly from the inefficiencies and deceptions they create in the global energy pricing models. The economic consequences reach far beyond the ports. They affect inflation, transportation costs, and the stability of national currencies across the developing world and beyond. While a few anonymous elites grow unimaginably wealthy, the average citizen pays the price through higher costs of living in a more volatile global market. We must ask ourselves, who is really in control of the world's energy? The politicians making speeches, or the ghosts moving the oil across the sea? To understand the future of the economy, you must look where others refuse to look. You must look into the heart of the maritime shadow empire. The battle is for information. In a world of misinformation, the ability to verify data is the only way to protect your investments and your future. The global system is fragmented. The Shadow Fleet is simply the most visible symptom of a world where the old rules no longer apply to anyone, Don't let the media distract you with surface-level narratives. The real power moves in silence. It deep beneath the surface of the international maritime trade routes. This is a call to awareness. By understanding the shadow fleet, we can begin to see the true gears of the global economy as they really are. The world does not work the way you read in the newspapers. It operates on data, hidden agreements, and the cold logic of the shadow fleet. Always remember, logic is greater than hype. Don't be fooled by media spikes or political grandstanding. Look at the hard numbers and the physical movement. To verify the truth, you must check the source, cross-reference the data, and follow the money until it leads you back to the physical world. Being an informed observer requires discipline and a healthy dose of skepticism. The truth is rarely found on the front page of any mainstream website. The ghosts of the ocean will continue to sail as long as we remain blind to their existence. It is time to shine a light on them. Join us as we continue to investigate the hidden forces that shape our world. Subscribe to help us verify the truth and expose the shadow empires. Your support allows us to dig deeper into the data that matters. Together, we can build a more transparent understanding of the global energy landscape. We have seen the ghosts, the lies, the transfers, and the consequences. The mystery of the $100 billion oil scam is now in your hands. Stay vigilant, stay disciplined, and always verify what you are being told. The world is much more complex than it appears to the naked eye. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the shadow fleet. Your journey into the reality of global trade has only just begun today. Keep searching for the truth, keep looking for the data, and most importantly, always remember to verify. We will see you in the next investigation.